Drae Ockenden.
Okay, hello everyone, morning and afternoon. So today I wanted to talk about domains, the different domain extensions, and when you should be using what domain. So the most popular domain, as we all know, is .com, and that is global. So that is not specific to a country, unlike .uk, .us, .me, .au, all of those. But it isn't very, since it's not specific to a country, everyone wants it. So they're hard to register unless you have a very unique business name. And if your business is only operating in a specific country, then I would try and get the domain that's specific for that region. So for example, if you're in Australia, there's .com.au, .au, .net.au, and all of those. But then you can go one step further, and depending on your business type, you can either do .com.au, .net.au, or .org.au. And those are used for different things. So the orgs are for organizations, usually non-profits. .net is for networks, and .com is just for commercial use. There are a lot of other domains that some people use, some people don't. Any word you can think of basically is an extension. .edu.au, .gov.au is even harder to get. But yeah, so there's .online, .tech. If I named all of them, we would be here for hours. But choosing the right domain name is great, but you also need SSL certificates to go with it. So not sure if you are aware, but if you don't have an SSL certificate on your website, Google lowers your SEO ranking because it means that your website is not secure. And if you do have an SSL certificate, most people have the free ones, which is fine for most cases, unless you are accepting payments on those websites. Some SSL certificate companies offer warranties with their certificates. I do on my website up to 1,750,000, but there's other websites, there's other places as well. So if you are accepting payments on your websites, I would go around and look at what suits you best, both for your domains and for your SSL that fits to your business, the type of payments that you are accepting, and the amounts that you are accepting, because those warranties, they vary from $5,000 to over $1.5 million. I will accept any questions now.
Okay, I've got my hand up.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the additional extensions that are out there, right? So as an example, Jeanette's got onyx.legal. My booking link is meetj.info. So these extra extensions, do they cause any issues with things like Google searches and stuff like that, or are they just as effective as a .com or a .com.au?
I would usually steer clear of them in most cases, because people are more used to typing in .com, .net, .com.au. I would stick with those because that's what people automatically assume the extension for your website is.
Yeah.
Like if I said, let's go to Ken's website, everyone would automatically assume that it's either a .com on the end or something like that. With the more specific ones, they're harder to remember. And I know when Jeanette first said that her website is onyx.legal, I was waiting for the end of it. I was like, okay, but what's the extension? So it can be confusing when you have things like that.
Okay, and can somebody else just say that, because we've already had 2 plugs for Jeanette's site. Can somebody else just say the website for me as well? Then we get 3, then she owes me $1.
Onyx.legal is probably the best
Fantastic.
website.
Thank you very much, Mark. All right. Mark's actually got a question.
Yeah, hi, Drae. As you may or may not know, my website is .com. What would be the benefit in me changing that to example.com.au?
So I would change that because you mostly work in Australia at the moment, and it identifies you as more an Australian business. It also secures it. Since you have an ABN, you are able to take that business name. If in the future, like Jeanette was saying yesterday, if someone else comes along and has registered something similar to your business as a trademark, they can then come and take your .au domain. I would have both of them, the .com and the .com.au, and just have them redirect to each other so that if someone types in that extra part or they don't, they all go to the same place.
Okay, thanks so much, Drae.
And Alan.
Yeah, so if you do have those websites and the redirections, like I've got the .com.au and I'm just getting the .aus as well, and having the new website put on the .au and then redirecting the .com.au, do you need SSLs on all of those?
No, that's a tricky one, but usually no. So since it's called a 301 redirect, which basically means that it's a permanent redirect from whatever you're typing in to the actual website. Since they're not actually staying on like the redirect part of it, there is no SSL needed on that. However, some browsers, when you type it in, it says this website is not secure. Do you want to continue? And you click continue, and then it pops up with the SSL once it redirects. So that can be an issue, but some browsers do that anyway when you do have a certificate. So yeah, it's not needed. But if you wanted to, you can. If you have something like cPanel and you have the domain link to that, you can install a free SSL certificate just for the lock. It doesn't really need any protection since no one's going to that website.
Yeah, and on the other one, Jason had just mentioned he has the meetjason. Is it info?
Yeah, meetj.info.
Yeah. So does that need an SSL on? Because normally you only just give that to people when you're talking to them, say, hey, here's my link, because that has all your social media and everything else in it.
So they're mainly used for inputting information, either payment information or any personal information, to make sure that someone else can't hijack that and take it. But if for those meetings, I probably would put it in just in case you're adding forms to that where they put in their address or anything like that. It also makes people feel safer when it doesn't come up saying this website is not secure, because that's kind of worrying for a lot of people, with like the right they should be. But yeah, I would put one on just in case.
And you look after all the SSLs, is that right?
I can, yes.
Good.
Beautiful. Any other questions? Nope. Drae, thank you very much.
I was going to.
Oh, sorry, Angela, you didn't have your hand up. Okay.
No, sorry, I missed my hand. I just went, eh. So you just said that when you don't have the .com.au, for example, somebody who has, can hijack that. Would that also apply to your own name?
Yes. So if you don't have your name trademarked, yes, someone else can take it. Even if you do have it trademarked, someone can potentially come and take it, but then you can take it back from them. So I would suggest getting it. There are a lot of people that buy domains and then email you saying, hey, I'm going to sell this to you for 1,650. But if you buy it right now, I'll do it for 1,400. I get those emails all the time. And yeah, so I would, if you want a domain, I would suggest buying it and either keeping it there. If you don't want it, you can sell it later on or let it expire. But I wouldn't hesitate on it, because if you search for domains, people can see that you're searching for it and then they will go through and buy it. So yeah, I would get it when you can.
I'm going to back you up on that. there, Drae, because I made the mistake once of I actually was looking for the domain name for Be Connected Radio, and I typed in beconnectedradio.com and it said it was available. I went, great, now I know I can move to that. Went and set up the radio, went back to GoDaddy to buy the domain, and GoDaddy had already bought the domain and wanted to charge me 20 times the amount because I initially did the search from within my own little portal. So yeah, just be careful with that one. Anybody else? Fantastic.
GoDaddy.
Yeah, good old GoDaddy.
No.
Thank you very much. Right, another one.